Hi, fire signs. Welcome. Welcome to your tarot reading. Mid-month, January. This is your bonus romantic love reading. Mid-month of January. It'll stretch back a little to the end of December and towards mid-February for the future part of it. Okay? So, but we will be back to our regularly scheduled readings once this long weekend has passed. Okay, so welcome. This channel is called The Witching Hour. My name's Michelle and I'm a witch. Welcome, fire signs. I'm going to be doing a romantic love reading for you guys. Aries, Leo, then Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, however it's placed in your chart. And just overall for the energy of fire in romantic love. So remember, it's not just about your sign. It's also about the element of fire. And I would like to greet the elements at this time. The elements of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. I greet and welcome the guardians of the north, east, south, and west. Our allies in spirit, our spirit guides, guardians, angels, and loved ones in the spirit world. I pray for their divine light, love, guidance, and direction for this reading for fire signs and the element of fire. So may it be. Oh, hope everyone is good. I thank you for all your love, your sharing, and your support. I'm going to be using Sacred Circle Tarot for your reading that is created by Anna Franklin and Paul Mason. I will be clarifying or giving a spirit card at the end with Witch's Wisdom Oracle cards. Those are created by Barbara Michael John Free and Flavia Kate Peters, illustrated by Richard Crooks. That's what they look like on the back. If necessary, I will clarify further with the Connolly Tarot, which is created by Eileen Connolly and her son Peter Paul Connolly. That deck was created in the 90s. I have a vintage deck up there. It's really beautiful. And that one's optional, though. We'll see if we need it. So I'll be doing Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. One row, 3 cards per each sign. Then towards the end, I will look at everything overall regarding the element of fire in our love lives. And they are ready. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The underlying energy for Aries is the 3 of Swords and discord. Fear not, I want to say. Don't worry. It's okay. It is okay. Oh, you got the first card. Same as Sagittarius. In Sagittarius's reading. You got the Warrior card, which is traditionally known as the Strength card in traditional tarot. I just think it's going to be good for you, Aries. The tough part, I feel, the underlying energy being that of discord, 3 of Swords. It's got a lot of spiritual purpose to it. And it doesn't look like it's going to be coming out too much in your physical reality. Okay, it's just the underlying energy of you sorting stuff out with love. And I think it starts with self-love. I really, really do. Your first card is the Warrior, like I mentioned, traditionally known as the Strength card. My apologies if you can't see this very clearly. I dropped my phone in the sink. Sorry. Yep, that happened. I do shit like that. Sorry. To be honest, though, the phone was doing this before I dropped it in the sink about a week ago. So I don't know if it just made it worse again. Anyway, hopefully it will clear up, but I do have to get this message out there to you guys, and I appreciate your patience with me. So as I was saying, Aries, deep spiritual meaning for what you're going through in relationships right now, particularly romantic love. But stuff is getting sorted out because of this saying that is coming to mind that another reader on YouTube says a lot. It's a quote from A Course in Miracles, and which says, love brings up anything unlike itself to be healed. And I think that's exactly what's going on with you. And that's why you need the strength. And you feel, if this is the recent past, you know you've felt this. This is Leo energy as well, the number 8. You could be dealing with another fire sign, a Leo, but I think this is major arcana energy, so it's more about the element of fire as an archetypal and a primary elemental being. And I think we need to start looking at our attributes as having more consciousness than we think they do. That our fire element persons like yourselves, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that fiery energy is not just a characteristic, it's a being, it's a consciousness, it's part of your consciousness, it's a facet of your consciousness. And to me, I keep hearing it. It's calling you to self-love. It's calling you to love yourself in a way that maybe your current relationships and connections are bringing up something within you that is unlike love that needs to be healed. So if someone else is treating you in a way that is unlike love, this is happening now at this particular time, for it's being brought up at this particular time with more conscious awareness on your part in order to be healed. Does it mean you reconcile the relationship? It's more about reconciling yourself to yourself and healing your own broken heart, I think. Because what we have next is the long-term energy of the 10 of discs. Earth energy, where it gets real, where it gets manifested, where it materializes in our life for the long haul. This is self-love for the long haul. I think you have to put yourself first before the relationship, because you can't have a good relationship unless you love yourself. I feel like what I want to say is that the relationship is not a tool to be utilized in order to love yourself right now, because it's not, maybe, with the 3 of Swords energy here, it's not what it should be for you to utilize it to love yourself. It's not doing you a service. So I want to see what's underneath the 3 of Swords. Movement, the Knight of Cups. So yeah, this is about romancing yourself. This is about romancing yourself and not letting the romantic aspects of the relationship mask any real betrayal that exists. Betrayal of another to you, or betraying yourself in order to stay with another. Not sacrificing yourself for the relationship. That's my feeling. And what's coming up next after that, when you realize that and digest it and really internalize that truth, what you've got coming is the 4 of Wands. Your very own fire again, stability. 4 represents stability, foundation. And upon that, you can create development, like the card says on the top, development. Can't develop anything on anything other than solid footing and anything other than divine inspiration and love for yourself. So while you might have to, the picture in the background is kind of grabbing my attention. I believe this is a burial mound. You go in, and then you go in one person and you come out another being. I think this is transformational for you. I think this is giving you a new start. It might feel like a death of sorts in some way. The old you might be dying. The old you who accepted certain kinds of treatment before, not going to accept them anymore. And in order to do that, you must change. You must change in a way that doesn't require trying, if that makes sense. can't keep trying anymore. The old you can't try. That means you have to become a new you. And you don't have to completely change. It means more that part of you, the old you needs to die in order to incorporate a new aspect or a new facet of yourself. And you have to call upon your own energy, your own fire and spirit in order to do that. And to remember that cup of love held by the Knight of Cups is romantic. It's romantic. Romance yourself. Be good to yourself. Be true to yourself. A knight is loyal, faithful, trusting, valiant. Apply those qualities to yourself to receive them as a gift. Be romantic towards yourself. Be trusting and loyal and faithful to yourself. Be valiant for yourself. Loyal, faithful. All of those romantic knightly qualities, apply them for yourself and to yourself. And you'll see that your self-love will grow exponentially for you. And the part of you that needs to change will no longer accept what the old you accepted. And you'll be a new person. That's what Spirit is doing right now. So it's like, it would be good to go with the flow. You know, go with the flow. So I'm going to move on to Leo. And we will get back, Aries, to the overall fire part of the reading. Unless I clarify something for you. Okay? So if you want to, stay tuned. Because there's more. Leo, we have the Nine of Discs. This is the happy, single, self-sufficient, independent individual whose dreams are manifesting, coming into your material, physical world. I feel, yes, after, I feel that you've learned your lessons and they're being applied now, and you're reaping the rewards and the benefits of those lessons learned from pain in the past. Your wisdom has grown. And it has given you, in the recent past, a new beginning in love. A new, tangible, real beginning. A real relationship. A real relationship. Someone came along and gave you just that extra something that you felt was missing. I think you felt whole and complete before and didn't know what it felt like to be with another, maybe for a long time. Some of you, maybe not ever. Even though you may have been in relationships before, is the feeling I'm getting. It's like, oh, this time around, oh, I thought I knew what love was. I thought I had been in relationships before. This is a different animal. It's like, this is the real deal. I think you've matured. I feel a sense of maturity in you. I feel that now you're really ready, because now you're more fully realized in yourself. You're more mature. You're wiser. Older and wiser, I guess. It's more mature and wise is what it is. And so in the present, you have opposition, the Two of Swords, being in two minds about something. Let me look at, as I look at this card, what am I picking up off of it? I see two people like in the arena together. This is working out your differences in a way you've never worked out differences before. It's different. Like I said, it's a different animal this time around. It seems more like maybe what you were used to doing, or the treatment you were used to receiving or doing yourself, was more about, for lack of a better word, forgive me, for lack of a better word, fighting before was more about mental manipulation. Like, not so much mind games and being false, but more like, how do I win this argument? That type of thing. So it was more about mental manipulation, but not in the sense of manipulating another in an abusive way. Not like, I don't mean it like that. It's more like navigating, negotiating, not compromise, but navigating, negotiating an argument. Almost like you were like a lawyer and having this debate with someone, a lawyer, a politician, or something like that, where you needed to win the debate, or they did, the other person did. And now it's like that maneuver just doesn't work. Maneuvering, mental maneuvering is the better word. And it's not like that anymore. And it just doesn't feel true or authentic to you anymore. And you don't feel like you really want to win the argument. But I feel like you feel apprehensive that the other person does. And you feel kind of stripped down and vulnerable in this sense. And coming to realize, well, but I want to stand up for myself. I want to stand up for what's right. And this isn't fair. This isn't right. What do I do? What do I do? All I know how to do, or what I'm used to doing, is winning the argument, and then things are settled, you know? And it's like, you feel like you can't do that this time around. So in the future, what you have, Leo, is the sun. It's your own energy. It's about being true to yourself. How do you want to win an argument? Do you want to win an argument? But then it's like, well, how do I stand my ground? And that's the two. That's the two. How do I do this without trying to win an argument, without mental maneuvering? How do I do that? You love. You be yourself. Love yourself first. If it's worth defending, if your soul is worth defending, you'll know what to say. The words will be given to you. You'll be inspired to say what you need to say. What you need to say. Not what will win the argument, but what comes from your heart. And it isn't about being diplomatic and fair and always coming out trying to compromise what you really want to say for sake of being nice and, oh, I don't want to lose you, so I don't want to say the wrong thing. Like, you don't want to walk on eggshells, and you're not going to. You can't if you're going to be true to yourself, and you will. The universe, I feel, is going to be giving you something that you won't be able to compromise your own sense of integrity, your own sense of identity. You won't be able to. You won't be able to compromise your own sense of identity. So some of you might end up actually leaving a relationship because they don't fight fair. Because after not fighting fairly enough in the past, you know better what it's like. And some of you are experiencing this in conflict with another. It's like they just want to win the argument, or they want to win their way. And you get that and you understand, but you understand it's about more than that. And that you want to maintain your own integrity. And you don't want to compromise your own sense of identity in order to hold on to this person in this relationship. You're not going to hold on to it for sentimental reasons. I don't see that happening. Some of you might just let it go. And you'll shine brighter and better for it. Some of you will be able to discern how to navigate the difference between the two. Some of you are with people who are kind of tricky, though, about it when they're winning an argument with you. I feel that, and it's going to be a tough call to call upon your instincts and your inner sense of true knowing about what's really right here and what we need to really be talking about. But in the end, Leo, you're either going to end up with the right person who feels like this with you, who feels like they light your soul on fire, who glows with you, and knows that it's not worth compromising their integrity or yours in order to stay together and willingly find harmony within yourselves. And then looking at what is the highest good for the both of us. The highest good for the both of us. Not who's going to win the argument or get their way this time around. It's going to be what's better for the both of us. That we just agree to disagree and walk away from the argument, or agree to disagree that we're not right for each other and walk away from each other in this life that we thought we were going to be building. You know, I don't think I could say it any better than that. That was completely channeled. So I do feel, though, a lot of love for you. Leo. I do feel a lot of love in your soul. You're a good, beautiful person. And I think you're going to be okay. I mean, I think you're going to be really, really good. Either way, I truly do. I feel like I want to say, I promise you will. I promise you will be okay. Because this is your card. It's your card. The card of the sun, which rules you. Rules your soul. And you know what? This one rules us all, honey. Remember that. Be proud that you're the one who's ruled by the sun, because this one rules us all. No matter what sign we're born under, the sun is the one that rules us all. And that's the one we got to yield to. It's our truest self. It's our very soul and identity. And you're getting an up close, front row center view of watching yourself, watching your own soul emerge in the process of this conflict. And you're going to come out winning in the best sense of the word. And you're going to feel it. And I think you're going to start feeling it right away. Going to be coming into yourself. And it's going to feel wonderful. And the universe will partner you with the right partner. Whether align your current partner to you and to their soul and your soul and the universe itself, or that parting of ways so that you maintain your spiritual integrity and maintain your identity with the universe, and then the universe will align you with the new right person. That's that. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be divine alignment. It really is. So, moving on to Sagittarius, your underlying energy is that of rivalry, the Seven of Wands. This is more about standing your ground, not so much about conflict, but it's more when you're the lone wolf, so to speak. You're standing your ground, and you are, for the sake of your own integrity, setting yourself apart because you know you are apart and you accept yourself that way. And you just stand. You don't do anything. You don't fight back. You don't shrink away. You just stand strong. And you let what's coming at you come at you. And you stand your ground. You stand tall. You stand strong. Stand firm. And you just stand strong. And what you have in the recent past, this is why you're standing strong. It's the Green Man, traditionally known as the Fool in other tarot decks. But this being a Celtic pagan one, this is the Green Man. This is your virility, your inner instinct, your sense of, I don't have anything to lose. And that's why I'm standing strong, because I have nothing to lose at all. I am naked before everyone. It's the kind of vulnerability that carries a particular kind of strength to it. You don't feel vulnerable in the stereotypical way. You feel vulnerable in your soul, and you know nothing can touch it. And that's why you're willing to stand strong, even though you're stripped down and vulnerable. You feel stronger in that respect than maybe you ever have in your life. So that's a really good, beautiful energy to be holding. And what you have currently, because of all that strength and fire, you're holding your own element. Each one of you is Aries, Leo, and now you Sagittarius. Each one of you has a fire card. And you're holding your own. You're holding your own energy. And this is the master of that energy, the King of Wands. He is the masculine embodiment of the divine masculine fire energy, the energy of fire itself. Sitting, standing strong, yeah. Not only that, but it's like he can rule his own kingdom. He can rule his own kingdom. You can do this. You can do this. And whoa, what do we get as a result? His queen, the Queen of Wands. I don't think I've ever yet seen, in all the readings I've done so far on YouTube, a king and queen come up of the same suit sitting right beside each other. That's really exciting and wonderful. And for some of you, It is outside of the metaphorical sense, okay? And what these energies stand for and symbolize. Outside of that, I see two men here. This one being the new guy and this one being the woman, and this guy being in between them. And this guy being kind of removed in one particular scenario, and these two come together. Okay, the unconventional coupling of this woman who can handle this man's energy, this female divine feminine energy. The Queen of Wands, I love to call her, she's illumination. She is the witch. She is the witch of the deck. Besides the High Priestess, this is a woman who is cunning. She's a cunning woman, which means a witch. The wand is the wand like witches use. It's not just about the traditional tarot sense. This is about magic. She's magical. And she's a woman who embodies the idea of someone who says, I do this thing called whatever I want. And that's this guy. That's this man right here. The one who holds his own primitive energy. And the conventional man who is seems very matched to her, very conventionally matched. Don't they seem like the perfect cookie cutter couple, salt and pepper? No. The perfect pairing? No. She feels that this man is, and she's right, because she's following her instincts. His instincts are calling out to hers. It goes outside of convention. It's in her soul. She feels it. He feels it. And there is this man in the middle who is now being removed from the picture. That's one scenario, okay? She's following her true soul's calling. And this man is going to stand up to her. He'll stand up for her. This man just stands over her. Sometimes he sits beneath her. There's lower energy. Sometimes he kind of diminishes himself because he doesn't feel up to the task of a real relationship. This guy is willing to go the distance. He's willing to stand up to her. This guy is more only willing to fight and win the fight, to overpower her. This man knows you can't overpower your own instincts, and nor should anyone make you feel that way. He respects her enough to stand up to her when she's wrong and when she's not being true to herself. And that really takes some doing, other than kind of overpowering her and controlling. You know what I mean? So it's almost like a woman is in a relationship with a guy and there's an abusive kind of man in the middle. And he's going to stand up for her, this new guy. He's going to stand up for her. Because he sees she wants to stand up for herself. And she wants to stand up to this guy. And this guy's going to help her. And then they're going to get together. Okay, so that's one scenario. Now, what is the other? I don't know if there's another in this. But initially what I was saying was you returning to your primitive instinct, Sagittarius, is gonna bring you the ultimate real, in this other scenario, in this different initial scenario I mentioned, your real partner, your real soulmate, the one that's like match made in heaven, like your twins, like your twin flames. Twin flames. This is a twin flame relationship here. The one I mentioned previously. The one where this guy came first in the reading and then she came in. It's like you manifested one another. This is a twin flame thing. And it's because you answered the calling of your inner instinct, like the call of the wild. It brought her right in. It's like, oh, what was I missing? What was I missing? And then she comes in. It's like as soon as you discover yourself, your real mate has come in. And she's very dynamic. She's very dynamic. I mean, I don't know if you could get a more perfect counterpart than that. If you see all the energy he's wielding and it seems very contained and hers is swirling around, if you see that, you know, it's like he gives her what she needs to make her magic, or to make her magic more dynamic. It's a new way of her using her magic and her energy. And she creates like this new world for him based on the energy he fueled her with. So it keeps giving back to itself and cycling back to itself. And that's how you know you have a good thing, is that there's that equal give and take, the giving and receiving of divine love, spiritual, fertile, virile energy that has all this yummy juiciness in it. Okay? So I don't think there's any clarifying necessary for any of these signs at all. And I hope you benefited from one another's signs. If you stuck through it and watched the whole reading all together as one reading, I hope you did. I hope you did, because I think that's how it's supposed to be. So I'm going to draw from Witch's Wisdom now and give kind of like a cap off and an overall spiritual blessing to all three signs and the element of fire in our love lives collectively. Remember, your gift of your element of fire is giving to all of the signs, regardless. Okay? It's all one. It's all one, and I like to do that. Let's see. I don't like to compartmentalize things too much. Homeland and foundation. And what did I say, Aries, about foundation? What did I say, Leo, about going to your core? And Sagittarius about returning to your natural instincts. It's all about foundation. And homeland, returning home to yourself. We have a homing device inside of us that always brings us back home to ourselves and calls our mates home to us, our real true mates home to us, and or calls us to them. I'm telling you, you guys, this is going to be like a month of love, let me tell you. And the underlying energy of Witch's Wisdom is the Athame, the male phallic symbolic energy of protection and boundaries. The one that I said, it's like he stands up to her, but stands up for her as well. And you got to have sharp boundaries in order to do that. So take a leaf out of Leo's book with those Two of Swords and find out where the conflict is. And come back to your true self and having that discernment about where the boundaries should really be applied. And it's always the best way to go about applying them to yourselves. Apply a boundary to anything. Bring up anything unlike love. Love brings up anything unlike itself to be healed. But also bring up anything within yourself where you feel you're not being true to yourself. That's where you find your boundaries, is where you have not been true to yourself. And that's where you draw the boundary, is with yourself. I'm no longer going to step outside of my identity in order to be in a relationship. I'm going to be true to me. And that's the green man, the embodiment. And as a result, you're going to have the Four of Wands, the Sun, and the King and Queen of Wands, of fire. And you'll feel like you're home again. And it's going to happen. But those are the tools and the tricks of the trade that you're going to need. And that is the blessing of spirit for you guys. I'm so privileged and honored to have done that reading for you. If you would like a personal reading for yourself individually, or to donate to this channel, the links for those are in the drop-down box below this screen. Check out my video library for all fire sign elemental signs and readings, and all of the other elemental readings. And I think that's it. So until we meet again, fire signs, from my soul to yours, much, much love and brightest blessings. Take care. Bye-bye.